Let me show you how to make one of the easiest and most delicious breads. This is Irish soda bread. It starts with 2 cups of flour, a tablespoon of sugar, a teaspoon of baking powder, half a teaspoon of baking soda, and half a teaspoon of salt. Whisk that all together, and then you're going to add 3 tablespoons of cold unsalted butter that's been cut into cubes. You can cut this in with a pastry blender if you have one, or you can do it by hand like this. If doing by hand, get the butter and sort of squeeze it between your fingers as if you're snapping them, and you'll make nice little flaky pieces of butter that will add so much flavor to your dough. Here is 3/4 cups of buttermilk and 1 egg. Beat that together slightly. Then all at once pour it into your flour mixture. I like to use a fork to stir it together because you really want to handle the dough very delicately so that it comes out nice and tender. Stir that together until it comes together like this, and then you're going to turn it on your work surface and continue pulling it together into a dough by hand. Once the dough is on the surface, push and fold it together to incorporate all the remaining flour into it. Be sure to handle the dough very gently so that it turns into a nice tender loaf in the end. Once it's all combined like this, you can add an additional bit of flour to your work surface, especially if it's sticking to that, and then lift and fold the dough several times to knead it together. Probably 5 to 7 times would be plenty. Once you have the dough fully incorporated like this, place it on a baking sheet. I like to line mine with parchment paper and then make sure it's nice and round and pat it out a little bit. Doesn't need to be too thin, but definitely flatten it out some. Then score the top with a knife, and legend says this is to let the fairies out. Bake it at 375 for 30 minutes. It'll be this beautiful buttery bread. I like to serve mine sliced with butter and marmalade. You can also serve it alongside a corned beef stew or roast. I hope you love this recipe, and please follow and give me a like if you do.